Well, howdy, folks. So, it's been a minute. I actually finally got some GoPro footage put up this last weekend. Unfortunately, 2 of the videos didn't go up, I don't think. But, this is new. This is a 99 Mitsubishi Mirage. I don't think I've done a video on this one yet. I picked this up, I think November, just before it started snowing up here in Idaho. And it's actually not for me, it's my girlfriend's car. She went to a couple of my shows. I think the last 2 that I actually did for this year. No, last 3. Trash car and then 1 derby. And she quite enjoyed it. Enough that she wanted to build her own car. So we got talking, and we actually ended up finding this. It came from the junkyard, because I don't know why, it doesn't run the best, but it runs. But it had been sideswiped pretty bad, and then some stuff under it was tore up, but definitely still needs quite a bit of work done to it. A couple windows out, some extra trim like that, and just stuff like that needs to be taken out. But I think we've spent the last 2 days actually at my work shop. Not the prettiest of places, not the cleanest, but it beats sitting out on the cold hard ground. Well, cement. But like I said, we picked this car up for $200. It ran, drove. We drove it to her house, and then we both lived by an hour and away, which we're now living together. At the time, we were living by an hour away, and we drove it home, and then we trailered it back to my place to store with the other cars for the winter. Springtime has just now started. It's now officially mud season. Not snow, not summer, but mud. And so we dug this thing out, and it fired up first crank. Had to give it a little bit of a jump, but it fired right up. But the last Sunday night, it's now, I think, Tuesday the 9th. Sunday we towed it up here after talking with my boss. They were cool with it. To use the shop and our welder. I ain't gonna show you my welds, they're shit, but they're enough to hold. But we've really fought with this car being how thin the metal is, but we got it in. I still gotta do a little bit of work to get it sitting where I want it to and mounted. We got a ton of shit in the back, but rear seat bars in, halos in. Fortunately, we have to bolt it to the floor because we can't weld to it, but she's using it for trash car, and that actually works out perfect because they allow that. Being you're not hitting super hard, but you're still getting hit. But in time of me welding it and doing what I can, she's taking the time to paint it, and hence the name Team Underbuilt. She's using my paint job, I guess you could say, but she's kind of flip-flopped it. If you remember my not Stratus, that was my personal car, my Saturn, which is still sitting out there in the snow. That one ain't coming out for a couple more weeks. But mine is white in the front, turquoise in the back, with a black stripe. Now she's done the opposite, turquoise in the front and white in the back. I might have said that backwards, but anyways, she's doing it the opposite of mine, but instead of the black stripe, which it's still the factory color, which is like a bluish, she's gonna do yellow. And she's also got her little cow on the front, being that's her favorite animal. But this will be her first year, and I personally think this is a perfect car for her. I haven't seen too many of these Mitsubishis ran, but from what I've heard, they hold up pretty darn well. With hers, starting out in drive is basically like starting in 3rd gear. So for her, she has to manual the gears, which she's not too excited about, but she said she'll do it. So what we really have left on the car now, being it's been 2.5 days of us working on it, is I still have to figure out these front 2 arms going down for the door bars. We're going to keep the dash in. I'm not going to bother, and it's not a requirement, but just mount those down the rest of the way, chain her doors, chain the hood, remove the windows and any excess trim, and she's really good to go. I am going to do something with the exhaust, being I don't like where it's blowing off. We're going to sell the cat. I don't know if I can find the hood release, but it might be too dark. But the cat is right just down there at the bottom, and so all that heat from the motor is going to be just blowing right onto the bottom of the block. So we're going to do something about her exhaust, but I think this is going to be a fun car, and she's just going to give the trash car racing a go. She's not too sure if it's what she wants to do, and she knows she doesn't want to do the derbies. So if it comes down to it and she doesn't enjoy it, I'll actually be taking the car and it'll be put through a mini car derby. Not sure where, no clue when. Could be next year, a year from now, whatever. But that's kind of the go plan for this car. There's not a whole lot to do. We've done quite a bit in 2 days, especially for my welding experience, because I'm not a great welder. I mean, I've welded on my other cars, they've held. I've never had a weld break, even in my full size, but I'm still not a great welder and they ain't pretty. But I think after we get this one done and out of here and back down to where we're at, we're actually gonna bring my Buick up here and finish that one. Because change of plans, the shows around us, the promoters will not allow that Buick to run in minis or full size. So it's just going to be a trash car as well. So we'll be taking 3 cars to each event, as many as we can, really, as many of the events as we can. And with all these cars, when they're close to being finished off and ready for scrap, they'll go to one last derby if they can drive. And so, personally, I think my Saturn, sorry I got the hiccups, my Saturn's only got 1 more year in it, and that'll be this year. But anyways, so I thought I'd just hop on here and show y'all the new project we've been working on this last week. Or with these last few days, I should say. This window didn't roll down, which made things kind of a pain, but it is what it is. But yeah, and if you can't tell, it's kind of becoming clear, turquoise and white are my official colors. Before I was kind of just running whatever. I think I started out with purple with the Joker paint job, then I went to orange and black, and then I ended the big Buick off with blue and yellow. And we finally settled on turquoise and white. I know some people were asking. We settled on turquoise and white because turquoise is my mom's favorite color. It's mine as well. And I still gotta show you all my new roof sign, but we wanted to contribute my mom and my dad into our cars. And being the turquoise and white are her favorite colors, so that's what we went with those. And then we did a tribute for my father, which I have not showed the new roof sign yet and some of the other stuff for it, but we wanted to contribute them into it and everything they've done to help me get out on the track in the past. And so hopefully I'll get that up in a future video. If not, you'll end up just seeing it on the car, whatever. But yeah, that's about it, folks. I'll try to figure out why the other 2 derbies from Spud Day didn't upload. I think it was 2 from Spud Day. But I'll get those figured out. I appreciate y'all stopping by and watching, and we'll see you in the next one.